You're watching 21 WFMJ, where 21 stands for more local news. This is 21 News, 6 p.m.
Parole protest. A man who murdered 2 teenage girls is up for parole, but the killer's victims aren't being forgotten by those who love them. Is there a shale boom in Salem's future? Salem has the land and gas drillers want it, but first they've got to make a deal that suits the city. And salt suit. The state attorney general files suit against 2 major salt manufacturers. We'll tell you why. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Emery, and thank you for joining us. Authorities are currently on the scene of a fatal crash in southern Mahoning County. Shortly after 5 this afternoon, 2 SUVs collided along Route 62 near Calla Road in Goshen Township. The Ohio State Highway Patrol tells 21 News there is 1 fatality. We have a crew on the scene, and we'll have more on this story tonight at 11. A local emergency room physician is due in court to answer a criminal charge. Authorities in Cleveland say baggage screeners at Hopkins Airport found a loaded handgun in Dr. Richard Buxom's luggage. Authorities charged the doctor with carrying a concealed weapon. He's scheduled for a court hearing on Friday. A company created to support the local shale boom wins a legal victory to stay in business. Patriot Water and the City of Warren have been fighting the Ohio EPA director's threat to revoke the permit needed to process wastewater from shale drilling. Now, the Ohio Environmental Review Appeals Commission ruled the EPA director does not have the authority to revoke the permits. Patriot also has a lawsuit pending that attempts to stop permit challenges from the EPA and the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. The city of Salem is ready to enter the shale boom game. 21 News reporter Glenn Stevens says the city is looking to benefit from both land leases and bulk water sales to support shale development.
City leaders have voted to empower Salem Mayor John Berlin to negotiate oil and gas leases on city-owned property. That would include 574 acres within the city and 290 acres outside the city.
We're a little bit behind with respect to other communities around us, but we anticipate catching up rather quickly.
The available property includes mineral rights at the Salem Industrial Park. The mayor says recent prices in the area have ranged from $2,000 to $6,000 an acre.
So we would anticipate perhaps a similar amount.
At the same time, the city has been approached by one major exploration company about purchasing bulk water from the city.
The proposal that they sent indicated that they'd be interested.
Are investigating a reported hit-and-run pedestrian accident on the city's west side. It happened this afternoon at the Westview Apartments. Witnesses tell 21 News that Taniqua Wilkerson was struck by a car driven by a neighbor.
When she hit her, like she went just way up in the air, like as he was watching real TV or something. Like I couldn't, but I was shocked.
Witnesses say that although the victim had extensive cuts and bruises, she was talking to people and taken to the hospital. Police later located the suspected driver in the case, but have not released her name, pending charges. A woman with a blood alcohol level of more than twice the legal limit could face drunk driving charges in a deadly crash. 19-year-old Josh Kale was struck by a car as he tried to cross Riverview Street northwest in Warren. Kale was headed home from work at the Sunrise Inn and died on Sunday.
It's actually surreal. I guess I still don't believe it because we just took the old schedules down and we saw his name on there. So just a nice kid, and I know a lot of times people say that, but he really is a nice person, has a nice little boy trying to make a family.
The Sunrise Inn is collecting money to help Kale's family raise his 1-year-old son. 15 years after the murder of 16-year-old Wendy Clay, her family is still fighting for justice. As 21 News reporter Michelle Nix explains, Clay's family is on a mission to keep her killer from being released from prison.
The family of 16-year-old Wendy Clay has already collected 1,600 signatures of support and presented them to the parole board that's considering the release of convicted killer Richard Anderson Jr.
Richard Anderson has only done 15 years after he's killed 2 girls, and he's having his first parole hearing next month.
That's why the murder victim's family remains vigilant, collecting even more signatures on the YSU campus, determined to send the message that the release of the convicted killer from prison is a threat to the community.
Every young girl that's in society would be at risk. You know, if he could do this to 2 girls in just a matter of a couple months, imagine if he wouldn't have been caught, how many more girls there might be.
The pain at the pump reaches new highs here in the valley. This is the price of regular gasoline across from YSU's Stambaugh Stadium. The $4.09 price eclipsed other stations that are selling gas for $3.99. That's 13 cents higher than the national average. Next on 21 News at 6, fake pot brings real problems. Niles police raid a local market and confiscate synthetic marijuana. We'll tell you what experts say about the effects of the drug. And salt suit. Find out why Ohio's Attorney General files legal action against two of the biggest suppliers of road salt. We'll have all that and more coming up next on 21 News.